Page 6, for he's a jolly good fellow. Again, not a lot to say here. It's pretty straightforward. The melody's in the right hand. You want to bring out the melody, of course. Over on page 7, first line, last measure is a fermata on an A, a half note. I'm going to hold that for 4 counts instead of 2. At the bottom of page 7, there is a DS al fine. Hopefully you know what that means. On the slight chance you don't, I'll tell you. The DS means go back to the sign. A DC means go back to the beginning. This is not a DC. So we're going to go back to the sign, and we're going to play the fine. The sign is that squiggly-do thingy at the top of page 7. Measure 9. And that the 9 with the parentheses, that's a measure number. You see it at the beginning of each of these lines. Some publishers do that, some don't. Sometimes they'll put the measure number as just a number. There's nothing around it or nothing. There's no rule says it has to be a certain way. But it was nice of them to put in measure numbers, because if I want to, now I can refer to measure numbers. I won't, but I could. Yeah. Back to the subject. The sign is up the top of the page, and then fine is at the end of the second line. So we're going to play the whole thing through to the bottom of page 7, go back up and play the first 2 lines of page 7 again. That's all it means. So having said all that, now there is a pedal in the last 2 measures. I don't understand why there is. I'm not going to use the pedal. You can put the pedal in. I don't think you need me to instruct you how to do the pedal on this piece. There's just nothing to it. You just play the notes, push the pedal down, and then lift the pedal and the notes at the same time. That's all there is. So I'm going to leave the pedal out for me. Briefly, on the left hand, the only real thing you have to watch out for are the ties. So look on page 6 there. At the very beginning of the piece on page 6, you have the dotted half notes in the left hand. They're tied to the next measure. So you're not going to play them again. You're just going to hold them down that long. There is a little bit of trickiness going on in the right hand I'll point out to you. Probably don't need to, but I will anyway. At the top of page 7, you're in C position, right? On the right hand here. But when you get over to the 3rd measure, the F is okay, but the last measure, you need an A. So you got to reach your little finger up to get the A. Now, when you do that, in this case, go ahead and move the rest of your hand up. You've basically changed hand positions, because you need to stay here for part of the next line. Then when you get to the 2nd measure of the 2nd line, the quarter note is with the 2nd finger, so the 2nd finger is on the E. You reach the index finger down, and there, and you're back in C position. In the 3rd line, they want the index finger on the E. You're in D position here. Okay, so you've changed. You have a rest right before it, so you just move up during the rest. And then at the end of the 3rd line, there's another rest, and that gives you 1 beat, then to move your hand back down to C position. So your right hand's moving around just a little bit. It's only moving around 1 key on the piano. Try and get to where you can do that without looking at the keyboard. You ought to be able to move up and down 1 key without looking eventually. So you want to develop that feel, something to think about. We want to hear the rests. Again, first you learn to play it exactly as it's written, and then if you want to alter stuff, that's up to you. Since this is an arrangement, it doesn't matter. But we will need to hear those rests. That in the first line on page 6 there at the end, the last measure, it's 1 up on 2, 2's a rest, and then the right hand gets to play the 3rd beat by itself, and then you come down. Same thing on the next line. The last measure, it's here, rest. So make sure we hear the rest. They're in various places. Later on, you can fudge it and take them out and do what you want, but right now, play it exactly as it's written. It has a pickup beat, so I'm going to give us 2 counts, and then we're going to come in. It's in 3/4 time. It's in C major. There's no sharps or flats. I have the metronome set on 70. I think we can handle that. No 8th notes in it, so it shouldn't be too hard, I hope. If it is, then play it with me 1 hand at a time for a while. All right. If you want to sing, go right ahead. I ain't singing, but you can. Okay. Hands go in C position, I think. Ready, go. rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 1, rest. 2, 3, 1, rest. 1, rest. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3,